We've got Ozil, Mesut Ozil. I just don't think you understand. He's Unai Emery's man. He's better than Zidane. We've got Mesut Ozil. Good morning, guys. Welcome to a fresh week. Not the best of starts. Let's crack on with today's Gunner Talk. Let's start with a big talking point. The maestro, the man, the myth, the legend, Mesut Ozil. Let's just run through a few of his stats. World Cup winner, 3 FA Cups, 1 La Liga, 1 Spanish Cup, a Super Cup, Spanish Super Cup, a European Under-21 Championship, a German Cup. This guy has 92 caps, 65 plus goals and assists, 40 assists, which is the record for Germany. He's a top 20 goal scorer in German history for a guy that apparently doesn't score goals. He's 5 times German Player of the Year. Like I say, he's a World Cup winner. He's been in the World Cup semi-finals. He's been in 2 European semi-finals. You know, this tournament where people have scapegoated him, you know, they got the GOAT bit right, the skate bit doesn't line up. You know, in those 2 games, he created 5.5 chances on average, which was the highest of anybody in the entire World Cup, but he was Germany's worst player. He was Germany's best player. He was the only person that turned up. Absolutely unreal. I couldn't do one of these yesterday because I was too angry and I wouldn't have portrayed anything in a decent way at all. I'd have just ranted like if I was somebody on Arsenal Fan TV, so I just didn't want to do it yesterday at all. Club record 146, that stat of that season, that 2015-16 season, 146 goal scoring opportunities the guy created. That'll never get beat in my opinion. Absolutely unreal. I had to look at that sort of 3 or 4 times. It was like Jesus, you know. And he got 19 assists. He had 13 before Christmas until Giroud went on his run of 16 games without a goal. He should have beat Henry's record of 20 easily. You know, he should have got 30 or 40 that year. And this is another thing that I'm going to get onto in the point with Arsenal fans with detachment issues. You know, when the Czech rumour was out last week, let's get Giroud back. Why? He kept us average. He was decent, but that was it. He wasn't world class. We've got 2 world class strikers now. If we'd have had either Ober or Laka or both of them in that season, he'd have got 80 assists. It's just absolutely unreal. The numbers that this guy puts up year in, year out, and has been doing ever since he turned up at Arsenal, the hatred towards him is absolutely ridiculous. And he's proved it everywhere he's gone. He's done it in Germany, he's done it in Spain, he's been doing it in England, and he still gets hated on. Absolutely unreal. You know, he brought success back to our club. We were in the doldrums, we were crap, and he turned up. He took a big leap of faith there to come to our club, because I couldn't understand why, and I couldn't believe, you know, that's still the biggest transfer in my opinion in the club's history for the excitement it brought back to the club. It was an unreal moment when that was announced. I remember watching it like it was Christmas Day morning, and I was 6. It was unreal, and it was no surprise just after he turned up. Cups turned up again. I don't think that's coincidence. And I just think it's really disgusting the way he's been treated. And it's made me think, is he the most underrated player of all time and given the least amount of credit? I think he possibly is. I don't ever remember in my lifetime somebody being given less credit for being the world's best at what they do. I'm just dumbfounded by a lot of it, to be honest. It's just unreal. Interesting things from what he said. I'm German when we win, and I'm a Turkish immigrant when we lose. That's just real. That's upset me, to be honest, to hear that of a guy of his ilk to have to say that, and what he's done for them as a nation. It's just completely disgusting. And I'm sure he's not the only person that feels like that. Not even just in football. You know, I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, and maybe him being brave enough to come out and say this now. People will give him stick saying, oh well, he's a wimp and he's wimping out. No, he's just standing up for what he believes is right. I would do the same, and I commend him for it. You know, fair play to you, mate. And I hope this now is the start of other people coming out the woodworm and talking about their experiences of racial divide, because obviously it's rotten from top to bottom, and something needs to be done about it big time. And rather than us just having these poxy banners, let's kick out racism. Let's actually kick out racism. Let's get rid of it, because it's 2018, not 1918. It's time people move with the time. You know, we're in an era at the moment where we're looking at calling babies until we decide what sexuality they are. But you know, we've still got people being abused for the colour of the skin or you know, the religious beliefs. It's just unreal in my mind. You know, all this has come from this picture with Erdogan. He doesn't choose. It felt a lot like me for the whole people telling me I can't support England because there's Spurs players in there. I don't pick the England team. He doesn't pick Turkey's leader. He's just a proud Turk. That's part of his heritage. Do you want him to turn his back on that? No. Never forget where you came from, ever, no matter what walk of life you're in. That's a big part of who he is now, you know. Similar to the Xhaka thing with the old Albanian eagle, you know. It's not disrespectful to your current nation. It's showing respect to your past nation and one that's still a big part of you. You know, Merkel went and watched a game with Erdogan. Did she get any stick? No. You know. But, you know, this dirty Turk goes and shakes his hand and, you know, that's it. He's not German. He's never been anything to do with Germany. Forget his incredible history for us. Sod him, you know. It's so wrong. Another thing he said, I've got one heart split into two pieces, you know, Germany and Turkish. That's the same as most people I know. You've got to respect your roots, you know. I've got a lot of friends who they were born in England, they were raised in England, but they still see themselves as Jamaican, Nigerian, Italian, Greek, you know, Indian, Pakistani. I really don't have a problem with people appreciating where they've come from and the long road that they've made to get where they are today. I find it mind-blowing. And I think this is time for a lot of people to have a long, good, hard look at themselves rather than pointing. I think it's easy for us all to point the finger at the Germans. I think a lot of people need to go and have a long, hard look in the mirror, because this isn't something that's just gone on in German football. Maybe the racial side of it, but not the complete lack of respect for the guy. Arsenal fans have disrespect. I've disrespected him in the past. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm some whiter than white guy. I badmouthed him in the past, and it's not. On occasions it's been deserved. A lot of the time it hasn't. It's just been me ranting. You know, and this guy needs showing a lot more respect. I was pissed off yesterday. I saw Troop's comments. You know, I don't give any time to Arsenal fan TV. Their agenda has nothing to do with the club and seeing the club progress. These guys want us to stay shit, so they've got a way of earning a living. Like Troop's coming out and saying, calling him a lazy shit. How has this guy got the temerity to call Mesut Ozil a lazy shit? Guy doesn't even have a job, but he's piping up about the guy who's the most elite in his position and the best in the business at what he does, and that's why he gets paid 350 grand a week or whatever it is. I just had to laugh. It's like, what? If I didn't think this guy was a massive mug anyway, it definitely cemented that for me, and I really think people need to stop switching off to Arsenal fan TV and put your club ahead of your own laughs and giggles, because it's pathetic. And I couldn't stop laughing. What an absolute nugget. Just embarrassing, and he needs to go. He's definitely one who needs to go and have a long, hard look at himself. And if Mesut Ozil's lazy, it doesn't even put this guy on the spectrum. I mentioned it in a GunnerTalk a few weeks ago, saying a lot of Arsenal fans are going to look back when he's gone and it's all said and done and his career's over, and realise what a majestic, wonderful, world-class player we've had for a long period of time, and have we really appreciated the genius that we've had? No, we haven't. You know, people swing out of Rosick's arse, Cazorla's arse. Have these guys done as much as Mesut Ozil's done for Arsenal? I'm not so sure. I'm really not convinced. And if they have done, if they've done a lot, they've done as much. They haven't done more, and I think this guy really deserves a lot more credit. And like I say, when the edits and the little clips and the montages are put together, you're going to go, shit, this guy was at my club for the best part of 10 years, and I really didn't show him the appreciation I should have done. And I think we all need to start having a long, hard look at ourselves. And like I say, this might open the door now for a lot of other people to come out and really pipe up, and let's kick racism out of it. You know, I'm at football matches all the time, and the amount of times I hear "you lazy black bastard" or, you know, stuff like that, old school racism. It's time everybody stood up, you know, circled this person and pull them on it. Don't just stand there and go, oh, that's an awful thing to say. Let these people know that what a shit statement that is to make, because I can't stand racism. I really can't stand it. It's just not one that sits well with me at all. I can't be doing with it. I have no time for it at all. I love living in a multicultural society, and I have done for a long time. I think it's made me a better person on a whole, and understanding, you know, where people have come from, what they've come from, how hard they've had to work compared to people like me who are white English who've had it easy compared to these guys. and I give them more credence and respect for that. And hopefully this is now a turning point where a lot of people, media, fans, have to look at themselves and think, have I been disrespectful, and do I owe this guy an apology? I'm sure most people will feel yes, they do. Upsides to it, not that there's many, but at least he's with the lads in Singapore. I was great. It was great. It sort of came out, and I think maybe he timed it that way, that he was doing it at a point where he's with the lads who'll show him so much support and love. And it was easier for him to come out, make this statement. Obviously, the lads are like us; they'll see it on social media and stuff, and they'll be like, "Look, bro, we're behind you. Get it, totally get it." And a lot of them have been in familiar situations. Like Xhaka's just gone through it at the moment. So I think it's a good thing he's with the boys. There's a cracking atmosphere at the club at the moment, and obviously I think it's great that he's there with them and he can put this bad stench behind him and concentrate on the good feeling that's at the club, and put what's gone on with Germany behind him and concentrate on what's coming with Arsenal, because we're on the up at the minute, and I get a feeling German football might be on the way down, getting rid of their best player for the last 10 years. So that's one for me. And good news for us, selfishly. I didn't want to look at it like that because it's an appalling situation, but this probably prolongs his career with us, which at the age he's at now, we need to milk this guy for as much as we can, playtime wise. He's not going to go on forever. He might have had another 2 good years in him. Maybe we might get 4 good years out of him now. There's plenty of proof to show that people who ditch their international careers prolong their club careers. So on a slight positive note, I was fairly happy about that one. Other bits of news, let's get off the Mesut stuff. Let's just end it with Mesut, I love you. I think you're one of the best I've ever seen in our colours and at our club, and we're all behind you. And as first game of the season, I want to hear his chant loud and proud, bouncing around that stadium, and let this guy know. Let's get that warm feeling back in his heart, and let's show him the respect that he showed us. He turned up when we were in the shit, and now let's show him. Now he's in the shit, we're there for him as well. We owe him that. That is the minimum we owe him. So let's get behind him. And if you're over in Singapore, do the same. That's our first opportunity we're going to get Thursday to let this guy know we love him. So let's do that, please, guys, if you're over there. Please, please, please. Other stuff, the Sommer rumour, not fact. Talking about maybe we're looking at getting Sommer in. And so many of you just lost the fucking plot instantly. And I'm trying at the moment to not get in constant arguments with Liverpool fans who think they're the world's greatest side all of a sudden, and they've got no proof to back it up. And there's Arsenal fans at the minute that are pissing me off just as much, that are so negative. Like I said to you guys in my very first Gunner Talk, the only reason I'll give some of you for being negative is that we've been fed shit and down in the dumps for so long that we've forgot what happy is. But it's here and it's now and it's at the club. So get on the love train with the rest of us. I just don't get it. The instant comment straight away, well, we need a fucking winger, why are we looking at a goalkeeper? It's pretty simple, guys. Take your fucking blinkers off and look at the situation. Here's a guy who is better than both Cech and Ospina. That's just how it is. He's better than both. If we sold both of them, he'd cost us about 2 or 3 million quid, and he'd release wages. He'd come for a lot less wages than those two are combined. So look at it from a different point of view. You might not think we need a goalkeeper, right? But say, right, if getting him in and spending that 2 million quid and freeing up the wages might be the difference between Ramsey signing a new contract and offering him enough to stay. So which would you rather have? I'd rather have Sommer over those two anyway, and if it means that that's the money, provides the money for Ramsey to pay him more wages, then I'm all for it. And I think you just need to take your fucking blinkers off and look at things from a rational point of view. This doesn't affect us looking for a winger. If we even are looking for a winger, how does this affect it? It doesn't. If 2 million quid, 3 million quid is the difference between us getting a winger or not, then we're not getting a winger. It's that simple. So I think a lot of you need to give your heads a serious wobble, because it's embarrassing. A lot of us have been sick of the shit football and the shit feeling around the club for a while, and felt like we've been going backwards. We've got a man in charge now and backroom staff that are making us go forwards, and you're still moaning about, let's have Giroud back. Why? He kept us average. He was decent, but he was decent. He wasn't world class. We've now got world class players, so how you can want him back is beyond me. And there's other players in the team like that. Like I say, Cech and Ospina, we can do better. Monreal, the situation he's in with his age and his contract, we can do better. He wouldn't take a load of replacing. Mustafi, a lot of people, you feel that way. I'm indifferent on him, but a lot of you feel like we could easily replace him. El Nene, Xhaka, Iwobi, Welbeck, there's plenty of them that you feel we can do better than. So if you want the club to progress, there's going to have to be casualties. And we're not talking about getting rid of Aubameyang, Lacazette's, Ozil's, Ramsey's. We're talking about getting average squad players who were playing as our first team. That's the big problem for me. I know you all say, well, these might be good squad players. Yeah, but they've not been being played as squad players. They've been being played as first teamers, and that's the issue I have with it. And I just think a load of you just really need to get your heads out your arses and detach yourself from the past. You know, you've got this Wenger mentality that, you know, people. He was putting faith in people that didn't deserve it, and you guys have got stuck in the same mentality, and you've been doing the same, and you're still doing it now. Get over it. No one's bigger than the club. And I put the club first always, so I don't care if someone said to me, I love Aubameyang, if someone said to me, there's a guy 5 years younger that's just as good, see you later mate, I'll have this new guy. It's just that for me, because it'd help us more going forward, it'd be more towards the future. So I just really don't understand it, and it's really making my piss boil at the minute. I'm not gonna lie. A bit of a bonus yesterday, although a lot of you might not be that arse. Nkwali talking about he wants to come back to the club and prove himself for Arsenal. The fact that we've stood by him all this time because of this work permit thing. He's going to Porto now. I think he'll get plenty of games in their B's team set up. And he was brilliant last year, I thought. And I'm desperate to see this guy come back. And if we can survive this season without a winger, we might have a brilliant one coming back next year. So it's another reason why maybe we're not pulling the trigger on a winger. It's an interesting one anyway. Another story from yesterday, Iwobi. First, the rumour came out that somebody might be looking, Lazio, whoever was mentioned, might be looking to buy him for 20-25 million euros. And then another rumour came out saying he'll be offered a new contract. This is one I'm indifferent on, guys. I've stated so many times, I've hammered him unfairly in the past. Because I was hammering him on what I was seeing, which is him being played as a winger and solely as a winger. And he's not, the same as I'd hammer Aubameyang if he was playing as centre-back because he'd be shit. Iwobi's been shit as a winger. You can't hide from that whether you support him or not. He's been terrible. But the issue is he's not a winger, he's a centre attacking mid. And that's why I'm happy to give him a chance to prove himself in that position. The issue for me is I don't know where he's going to get game time in that position. It's an area where we're pretty well stocked for me. And for me, the ideal situation is give him this new contract and loan him out somewhere at a Premier League side where he'll definitely play in centre mid. Centre attacking mid, and let's let him prove himself. There became a comment about him yesterday, race related. Well, he's not considered proper Arsenal because he's not white. Fucking what a shit statement that is, and look at how much faith was given to Wiltshire in comparison to Iwobi. I'm telling you right now that even from the most narrow-minded, that had nothing to do with colour. Like I said yesterday, for me, I don't give a flying shit if Arsenal players are purple, pink, illuminous yellow. I'm not asked. For me, the only colour I see is red and white of Arsenal, and that's it. I'm not bothered what colour, creed, race, religion you are. That's the only colours that matter to me. And I just thought that was a baffling point of view, and one that's maybe been took out of context, but it's just embarrassing. And another one, if you're looking at it like that, you need to go and have a word with yourself, because it's really fucking poor. And that's pretty much it for me today, guys. I don't think there's any other interesting transfer stuff knocking about at the minute. So let's just get behind these players. Let's get behind Mesut. If Iwobi's getting a new contract, let's get behind him, because like I've said in a previous Gunner Talk, just bad-mouthing and hammering these guys every week, he's only guaranteeing one thing, and that's that they're not going to improve. So let's try the different side of the coin, and let's try overpraising them and see if that gets more out of them. Then if that doesn't work, then we're at the crux in the road, aren't we? We're at the crossroads then where, well, how do we move forward with this? But until we've tried both, let's not write them off. So that's it for me, guys. Let's show these guys lots of love and support. And come on, you Gooners. Up the Arsenal.